Yeah. Live Oak Entertainment. G. Matt B. Ruby Lynn. Tip. They sleeping on us.
We in the house.
Live
But I
Oak
don't take
Entertainment, nigga. That's facts,
They
nigga.
sleeping on us.
Catch us at the next show. The richest nigga in the city, next to Zach.
What up, Zach?
Had over 10 lakhs, that's facts.
That's
Sold
facts.
over 10 Vicks.
Yo,
Real shit.
man, this is OG Loyalty, man. I'm with DJ Prime Tech in the building, man. This is Live Oak Sports, man. We back at you again. Man, what a week of sports, man. We had the playoffs. I'm gonna touch on that. The playoffs have been named. The champions have been crowned. Playoffs, man, a lot of controversy. I'm gonna get into that. We're gonna briefly touch on some basketball. I'm gonna give you my picks for the NFL, but big news coming out of Michigan, man. Homeboy was fired today, bro, and I ain't happy about it, man, because when Jim Harbaugh came in to Michigan, man, they couldn't get right, man. It took Harbaugh probably maybe 3-4 years to get right and beat Ohio State. They didn't run him off, and the brother beat Ohio State last year, so I'm not quite sure why he wasn't given another chance because, I mean, Harbaugh got him into all this mess with all those NCAA violations and everything. So when they hired him, they already knew that it was going to be tough recruiting because they were going to lose some scholarships and some time training and stuff. Plus, he was coming in with a new quarterback. So, you know what I mean? I know the quarterback was supposed to be the biggest transfer and things didn't go well. I think they wound up like maybe 9-3 or 8-4 or something like that. Man, give a brother another year, man, but they fired him. So, don't know everything that goes along with that, but he's out. And it's a shame. Just shows you, man, black man. It's tough on a black man out here, man, especially in coaching and things like that in sports. And tough on a black person everywhere, but in sports, it's really tough, man. They really playing, you know what I mean, they're really playing a game that, you know what I mean, that a lot of black coaches can't win unless they just, just outstanding coaches and, but if they get hit with some adversity, it's tough. And I think I was telling somebody today, I think that's probably why Deion Sanders went to Colorado, because, they were so mediocre. Even if he got them 2 wins or 5 wins or 7 wins, they wouldn't bark about it. And besides that little 90 season when they had Rashid Shaheed or whatever, I don't know, what's his name, Salam? I think his name's Salam. That year that they had him and he won the Heisman or whatever. They've been sorry since then. Man, I gave y'all some good picks last week in the NFL and college football. We went 3-2 in the college football championships. Alabama surprised me getting blown out like that. I really think, maybe I still put them in the playoffs. So they had a tough schedule, beat some good teams. Notre Dame, I really felt should have got in. They're a real hot team. They probably would have beat a couple people, probably got to the Final Four. But, man, it's their fault, man. They won't join the conference. I mean, they ACC and just about everything else, but they won't join the conference. And then when they do play the ACC schedule, they play the weakest teams in the ACC. They play the Duke. Duke's kind of not that bad, but they play the Syracuses and those kind of teams, Boston College and those teams. So, I mean, you lost the big games you played. You lost to the Ohio State. You lost to Miami, you know what I mean? So when it came down to it, Miami I was kind of shaky about. But, when it came down to it, I believe it did come down to Miami and Notre Dame. Which one do you choose? And, hey, I mean, I know it's, second game of the season, but Notre Dame lost to Miami. So, hey, Miami gets in. It's hard for me to understand that Miami gets in and they're not even ACC champions. But, hey, man, that ACC conference is screwed up how they a break to get to a tiebreaker in that conference. You know what I mean? So, hey, the system is flawed. Let them figure it out. Other big thing, NFL, man, it's coming down the stretch. Got some not as good games as last week, man. Not as good of games as last week was. There's some lopsided games this week, but don't slip and just start picking all the favorites and stuff because, man, it could be a setup week. Last week I went 10-7 in picks. Going into Monday Night Football, I was 10-6, which was a pretty good record. But I did pick the Eagles to beat the Chargers, and the Eagles let me down. So, you know, I'm a Cowboys fan. Let me just, you know, Cowboys fans have been telling me, we're still in it. All we got to do is win out, you know what I mean? But what the problem is that the Eagles are getting ready to play 3 games with teams that are tanking. Raiders are going to tank, and they got 2 games against the Redskins. They're going to tank. And Buffalo will be fighting for the conference. So Buffalo or at least a good seed if they can't catch New England. So Buffalo probably be fighting for the conference. So I think Buffalo beat the Eagles, but Washington and the Raiders ain't going to do nothing. So we won't be able to gain ground on them. If we win out, we would probably still be a game and a half because we got that tie. We'd probably be a game and a half from beating them. So that pretty much is the nail in that loss last week with Detroit. Pretty much is the nail in the coffin for the Cowboys. They had to win that game. They didn't win that game. It's probably over for them, and they still got to play the Chargers. So I don't see it happening. So, I mean, hopefully we get a winning season. Man, come back, sign wide receiver Pickens, and we got a pretty good defense. Defense doing, even though they gave up all those points to the Lions, but they gotta get their run defense together. A couple more cornerbacks should probably be there. They got 2 first-round picks, so the cornerback should be one of them. The other pick should be a defensive lineman, and re-sign Clowney. And, get all the other boys on that line straight that are doing good. We still got the kid from Green Bay. Cowboys going to be real good next year, man. I think Cowboys got a chance to win a Super Bowl next year if they do whatever they need to do in the offseason. If Dak play like he played this year, they could win the Super Bowl next year. Everybody stay healthy. So, this week's games, got the Browns and the Bears. Shador, what a hell of a game last week and a loss. I picked the Titans, matter of fact. So it was a win-win for me. The Titans won. Shador played awesome. And we're not going by the spread here. These are just picks. But if you're a gambler or whatever, the bookies won that Cleveland Titans game last week because it was a 2-point spread and it was right on 2 points. I think that game was 31-29. So the bookie took all the money. Ravens and Bengals. Must win for the Ravens. The Bengals are probably out of it after that loss that they had last week. They're going to tell you they're still in it because they're about 2-3 games back. But they're pretty much done. Ravens are done. Kansas City Chiefs are done. That's kind of weird that those two are not going to be in the playoffs this year. But that's just how the NFL go. But the Ravens in a must win against the Bengals just to stay. Ravens need to stay, in it to match up with Pittsburgh and kind of coming down in the stretch in these last 4 games. They gotta win because if they could get to that game against Pittsburgh and win that game, they could win the division. Only one team is going to come out of that division. So it's either going to be the Ravens or Pittsburgh. Bengals are out. But I think the Bengals beat the Ravens. Shock them. And if Pittsburgh can win that game that they play this week against the Dolphins, which are hot right now, so that's not going to be an easy game for Pittsburgh. So I think the Ravens may be in a little bit of trouble. So, but I think Cincinnati looked real good. The defense didn't hold up. But the Ravens' offense isn't playing good, so I just think the Bengals beat the Ravens. So I got the Bears over the Browns, even though I want Shador to have a good game. I think the Bears will beat the Browns. I got the Bengals over the Ravens, Chargers, Chiefs, man. Chiefs got nothing really to fight for anymore. They're eliminated. So I think the Chargers win that game. I think the Chiefs kind of try to tank it a little bit, get a good draft pick, maybe not go all the way out now that they've been eliminated. Bills against the Patriots. I got the Bills. Patriots are home. That should be a pretty good game. The Patriots are a really good team. Mr. Shockingly, they're a really good team, but I think the Bills win that game and make that division going down the stretch a fight. Commanders, Giants, who gives a shit? But just for kickers, I take the Giants. Commanders can't even score. Eagles and Raiders, of course, the Eagles get back on track against the Raiders. They blow them out. If I was you, I'd put some money on that game. The spread is Philly and 11.5 points. So, you know what I mean? I think they'll beat the Raiders by 12, more than 12. I'm definitely going to jump on that one. You got the Jets and the Jaguars. Jaguars are gearing up for a playoff run. So go ahead and take the Jaguars in that game. But if you're betting, the Jaguars have 13.5 points. I think the Jets, being spotted that much, the Jets win that one as far as gambling goes, but the Jaguars win the game. But I would put the money on the Jets. You know what I mean? 13.5 points, that's a lot. And that Jaguar team is known for letting people have good games on them. Texans, Cardinals. Texans get back. Keep on rolling like King George. The Texans, man, keep on rolling. You know what I'm saying? They eliminated Kansas City. Cardinals got nothing to play for. They're gonna tank. Texans win that, and they'll win by more than 9.5 points. So that's a good bet if you're betting to take the Texans over the Cardinals. Packers, Broncos, I like that game, man. The Broncos have just barely been getting out of games and haven't been scoring. The Packers defense is really good, even though, I mean, they kind of let the Bears, do whatever they want to in the passing game. But the Broncos are leaning on all defense. That should be a defensive battle. The total points is 42.5. I would take the under in that game if I was you. But as far as the Packers and the Broncos pretty much, they're gonna have to win a couple more games to wrap up the division. So they're gonna come and fight them. They're at home. But I take the Packers in that game. I take the Packers. Lions and Rams, a really good game. Battle of the quarterbacks that swap. You know what I mean? Stafford and what's the other kid down there in Detroit? I know Matthew Stafford used to play for Detroit, and he went to the Rams, won a Super Bowl. The other kid for Detroit is trying to win a Super Bowl, but Detroit looks better. They beat on the Cowboys and everything, but I'm not sure about them. They Jared Goff, that's what I meant, the quarterback for Detroit that used to be with the Rams, and they swapped. And I think the Rams got better at that trade because they won the Super Bowl. But Jared Goff has been doing really well at Detroit. He's not a slouch quarterback at all. That's a tough game. I'm gonna roll with Detroit on them. It's a must win for them. The Rams, they've been looking really good, but I'm gonna go with Detroit on that game. The spread is 5.5 for the Rams. I think I'll take Detroit in that game, betting wise also. Panthers and Saints, man. Panthers blow them out. Panthers coming off a bye week. The Saints surprised the Bucs. They won't surprise the Panthers. Unfortunately, the Bucs are playing nobody this week, so the Bucs are playing the Falcons, and I'll take the Bucs in that game. It's going to come down the wire for the Panthers and the Bucs, and nobody but one team is going to get out of there. It's not going to be a wild card in the East, and it's not going to be a wild card in the South. You're probably looking at San Francisco Rams and Seattle coming out of the West, and you're probably looking at coming out of the North. You're probably looking at the Bears in Detroit and Green Bay. So all of them in the wild card. Somebody ain't gonna get in because you're gonna get one out the South. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get one out the East. So that's 2. So it's gonna be 5 spots left and 6 teams that that's gonna be vying for those that have really good records. So man, I really think the Rams in Seattle get in. And I think the Bears and Green Bay get in, but it's going to come down to Detroit and San Francisco. One of those teams is not going to get in. If I had my bet, it probably would be the Lions not getting in because they got a tougher schedule. But who knows? I did pick the Lions to beat the Rams, so that's a good start. Panthers over the Saints again. 49ers over the Titans. They're going to blow them out. 12.5 points. Going to take that because 49ers ain't going to give the Titans a break. Colts and Seahawks. Big game for the Seahawks. Big game for the Colts. Both of them are in a battle to win the divisions and stuff like that. The quarterback situation with the Colts is so bad, They're down to trying to pick up Phillip Rivers and everything like that. Daniel Jones going out. I think it goes downhill for the Colts now, I think maybe they get in the playoffs and maybe not, man. They may lose out, with no quarterback. So I'm going to take Seattle in that one. And then Cowboys and Vikings, give me the Cowboys in that. They got 5.5 points to win that game. I think they blow the Vikings out. I like the Cowboys in there. I like them for the money too. And then you got the Dolphins and Steelers, man. The Dolphins are hot, but I think the Steelers would have got a win game and being at home, and it's going to be super cold. The Miami boys don't really play good in that cold. I'm going to take Steelers in that game. So once again, I got the Steelers, Cowboys, Seahawks, 49ers, Panthers, Lions, Packers. Ooh, I'm scared of that one, but the Packers, Texans, Jaguars, Eagles, Giants, Bills, Chargers, Bengals, and Bears. The Bears. And man, that's all I got, man. Talking about the playoffs in the East. Playoffs in the AFC. Probably going to get Patriots and the Bills up top. In the East, the West, you're going to get the Broncos, the Chargers, and then in the you're going to get Jaguars in the South, maybe the Colts. That's 6, and then you gotta take what's the other division? Shoot, Pittsburgh coming out of the middle, the Central or North, whatever they call it. So I think that's gonna be your playoffs teams in the AFC. You're gonna get the Patriots. You're gonna get the Bills. You're gonna get Kansas City. You're gonna Patriots, Bills, Steelers, Jaguars, and you're going to get out there in the West, you're going to get the Broncos and the Chargers. Still another spot out there. So who knows who's going to grab that other spot. I think I might be missing somebody that's doing really good right now. Well, that's the Colts if you're looking at the records right now. But once again, no Daniel Jones out for the season. What do? You can waiting on the Richardson kid out of here, but they talking about he might come down to the last 2 games. So it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be real tough. The Ravens might get in. Even if they don't win the division. Same thing with Pittsburgh. So you see how that go. Man, the Dolphins in the hunt too. That Dolphins-Pittsburgh game is going to be a really big game. So I can't wait to see that one. So, hey, it is what it is, man. Shout out, man, to everybody that joined in last week, man. Keep on pumping. We're going to keep on going. That's Live Oak Sports for the week, and we out.